What are we talking about here? We're talking about the best single season team ever. We're not talking about stats. We're not talking about stats.
All right, let's meet the crew. We got Parker Smith.
Let's get it going, guys.
Loud Dog Richardson.
Number one, baby. Let's go.
And Scotty Evans.
H-Town, let's go.
All right, so best single season of any NBA team ever. We're going to start with Parker. Who you got?
So I was looking at this when it came to me, best single season. We're talking about the season in the NBA. And so the one I had to go with was the 2016 Golden State Warriors. Not only do they have the best record, 73-9. Not even double-digit losses. The best record. Number one in the league in points per game, 114 points, almost 115 points. Opponent's points was 104 points. They were first in offensive rating, fifth in defensive rating. So top five right there in both of them. Steph was averaging over 31 points a game. And his statistics was he was in the 50-40-90 club. He actually made his own club of the 50-45-90 club. And so 45% from three-point range, that is ridiculous. And then you also have Draymond Green almost averaging a triple-double. And Clay, of course, that's where they made this Splash Brothers. And so I'm talking about the single season record. And so this is the best NBA team in a single season up to date. And so they're just like unlike anything else we've ever heard of. And so I think those are the ones who are the top ones.
Yeah, Parker, how did that single season end, though?
We're going to talk about the end. We can just for sure just blame the refs. Because, I mean,
No!
Draymond Green getting a double tech and getting suspended for that Game 5 swung all the momentum onto LeBron James, who had his own elite three in that season. But even games up to that, they had only lost 2 games in the playoffs up until they played the Cavs. And then they lost 3. Then they lost 4.
They choked.
They choked in the final 3 games.
How can you be the best single season? That's like the Patriots going 16-1 or 17-1. That's great. You got the regular season undefeated, accolades, yada yada yada. It's all great. But who won the championship?
Well, no, and not only that, they were up 3-1.
That's true.
They were up 3-1.
So in finals history.
And they did it to LeBron. LeBron isn't even clutch. So literally, and we'll get into that later. But literally, Golden State's up 3-1 in that series. They're 1 game away from the championship. Because at that point, I think you couldn't make that argument.
Yeah.
But they blow a 3-1 lead to LeBron and the Cavs.
And what happened was Kyrie Irving came to play. They got Draymond Green away from playing. And so then you had people to fall back on like Andrew Bogus and Harrison Barnes. And so
Why are we talking?
they won the most games, though, 73-9 in the regular season.
But
best statistical season.
But how can you be the best team if you didn't bring home?
We're not talking about the
trophy?
playoffs. We're talking about the season. We're talking about like the season, like
Talking about playoff.
yeah.
Playoffs. What makes a great season is how you perform in the playoffs. Like if you're holding the Larry O'Brien Trophy, like that's what matters.
Larry O'Brien.
That's right. And so my thing is that they were the best. No, they were the best single season team.
All right.
And they had a bad luck at the very end.
Scott, are you up next?
Yeah, see, I had to go with the team that actually won a championship for mine. And not only did they win a championship, they beat LeBron when he was in the prime of the Heatles. I'm going with the 2013-2014 San Antonio Spurs. It's interesting, I know, but the thing is we're talking about the greatest single season team.
Okay.
Greg Popovich had that team playing so well. Selfless basketball. Good enough to beat the big 3 in LeBron, little brother Mario Chalmers, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, whoever else they had. I think they had the Birdman that year.
Oh,
Boy, that guy was something else.
What a guy.
I think he was on the Heat.
Anyway, but the 2013-2014 San Antonio Spurs. Let's take a look at their roster. Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili,
Mr. Flopple.
Manu.
Hey, it worked. Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan,
What year?
Boris Diaw, Mario Bellinelli sniping off the bench.
Kawhi Leonard was in the league.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, that's why he's
Patty Mills representing Australia. And then the greatest player in NBA history, the Ginger Ninja, Matt Bonner. Matt Bonner.
Oh, Matt Bonner.
Who?
Before there was Brian Scalabrine, there was Matt Bonner. And something really good about that team, nobody on the team made over $12 million. They were a team that cared about basketball, playing basketball the right way. They had a great regular season and then beat the Heat with LeBron, the super team where everybody's getting paid. Living in Miami, they just went ahead and Greg Popovich, no celebration. Kawhi Leonard, no emotion.
How can you
and won.
select the Spurs? We are in Dallas. I hate the Spurs.
If I remember right, that particular season, the first round matchup for the Spurs was against our Mavs.
Oh, that's right.
The Mavericks took the Spurs 7 games in the first round. So my argument is, yes, they won the championship. Yeah, they went 62-20 in the regular season. But the Mavericks took them to 7. And so I'm just going to say, the team that I'm going to talk about, they didn't have a game 7. That's what I'm going to talk about. Good. I like your pick. I think it's a good one. But the Mavs did take them to 7.
I hated this pick.
I kind of did too.
Let's hear what Loudon's pick is.
My pick? Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
Yep.
Hands down. The 2011 Dallas Mavericks.
Yes! Bring it back.
Dallas Mavericks.
Bring it.
Who, starting the season, who would have said the Dallas Mavericks were going to win that season besides Aaron Brady? Who would? Look at this team, okay? Bunch of misfits. Okay?
That is for sure.
Jason Kidd,
That is-
JJ Barea, Jet Terry is not in his prime anymore. Okay, and we got Dirk. He's probably still in his prime at that point. Tyson Chandler is rocking people, but guys, I didn't believe in him. I was rooting for him and I loved him and I watched basketball a lot back then. Okay, so nobody would have thought that this team would have fought to the end, and they won against who?
The Miami Heat,
The Heat
because
was
LeBron
Big
showed.
three, the first year of the Big
First
Three.
year, and everybody was like, "Oh, they're gonna be amazing." No,
Nobody.
says I.
And I'll also point out one thing that I love about that team and about Dirk. I think it was in between games 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. Dwayne Wade and LeBron mocked. So Dirk was sick. Dirk was sick, and LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, the whole fake cop thing, making fun of Dirk being sick. What did Dirk do? Oh, let's go win the championship against you. I love the fact that Dirk won in the face of that and just said, forget you, Wade and LeBron.
them.
So first of all, how are we going to say this is the best single season team if it's a team full of misfits who nobody believed they're actually even going to make it?
But they're a team.
What a story! That was incredible.
It's an incredible story.
Never to watch.
Yes, and they could honestly be the team who was the least likely to actually win a championship.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about the best single season.
season team ever. We're not talking
The
about
Alpha Dogs,
We're not talking about
the
stats.
team knows who's going to win. The Alpha Dogs, people that everyone's picking
Dallas
to win it.
They didn't even win.
But everybody picked them because they are 73 and 9.
They didn't win.
They only lost 9 games.
Well, here's the other. Go back to the point about the Mavericks. When you look at, we may have been a bunch of misfits, but you can't forget Rick Carlisle. Kind of like what you talked about with Greg Popovich, Scott. The coach is just about everything, and what Rick Carlisle was able to do with that group. We may have overachieved, but we took down the trio that the whole offseason, everybody was talking about
Not
the
4,
new big
not
3.
5, not 6.
Thank you,
Right. And what ends up happening is the Dallas Mavericks come in, shut up all of that talk, overcame the odds, and they take down the big 3. I mean, I wholeheartedly agree.
With the best team ever.
With the Grim Reaper.
Let's go.
And then what they do after that, they trade everybody off their team.
No.
Yes, Tyson.
Oh, we
Chandler.
got Sean Marion, the Matrix, was on that team too.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Patient
Peja. Yep.
That's a shot.
And then we can't forget the custodian, Brian Cardinal.
Okay, let's get off of this.
All right, so I'll wrap it up here. We have yet to
I had the
mention.
most debate. That was good.
we have yet to mention the greatest player of all time, the GOAT, Michael
James
Jordan,
Harden.
and the 1996-1997 Chicago Bulls. All right, so here's the deal. The Bulls, 69-13 that year. Yeah, they may have had a few more losses than the Warriors that Parker talked about, but here's the difference. The Bulls went on to win the championship. Not only that, they won in 6 games against the Utah Jazz. Let me walk you through that playoff run for them. They swept. They swept the Washington Bullets. They beat Atlanta in 5. They beat Miami in 5. They beat Utah in 6. No game 7s. And they win the championship against Utah. Karl Malone, John Stockton. They go in there.
Nobody else.
They go in there and they knock off the Utah Jazz. So they were first place in the conference, first place in the division. And that year specifically, during the offseason, they brought on Robert Parrish, the 2-time NBA championship from Boston. And that significantly, in my opinion, upgraded the roster. So for me, when you've got MJ, Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, Ron Harper, Robert Parrish, I think even Bill Wennington was on that team too. I don't know if Luke Longley was there at that point, but they had a phenomenal roster up and down. Steve Kerr, yeah, they had a phenomenal roster top to bottom. So to me,
But Steve Kerr is
so
on
to
the
me-
Warriors too. So
to me, it's an easy pick. It's the 96-97 Chicago Bulls with MJ leading the way.
It's like picking the
But who they play
Warriors on
against?
2K.
yeah, but who they play against? They didn't play against anybody. Like okay, Stockton and Malone. They haven't won anything. They're like
Because
they're
of
like,
MJ.
They're like
They were-
CP3 and Harden.
Whoa.
But they were a
Never
solid.
gonna win
Hey,
anything.
hey,
Never
they've
gonna be
not
good
had
enough.
A State Farm commercial.
A
is gonna
good
see
regular
fucking Harden,
season
okay?
team.
Best commercial of all time.
So
I think the 95 Bulls were
yeah, the 95-96.
How? They didn't have Robert
Bulls.
Parrish. It's almost the exact same roster except that was Dennis Rodman's first year at Chicago
One
instead of
year
second
younger,
year,
one
and no
year
Robert
younger.
Parrish. How can you
Okay,
say they're
I
better?
think we're missing something really big here, though. A sleeper team. 07-08 Rockets. 25 wins
What?
in a row.
Oh my
Yeah, man.
God.
In what
Chasing
universe?
Brady. What? Nowhere in the playoffs.
Take him out of the conversation.
No.
Yeah, Rockets
DQ'd.
can be anywhere in this conversation.
DQ. All right, well, I think we had a good argument. You guys let us know below who you think, not only who you think's the best, but let us know out of the 4 of us who you think was right on the money with the
It's not
best